Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is testing out the DJI Neo. Just walking through the campground with these little makeshift paths that I've made over the summer. This was recorded in October. So the current settings are set to obviously follow, and it's going to be high up and furthest away. So for the distance, it's far, and for the elevation, it's high. I don't know if you can customize that to different heights, but this is like the furthest you can go, from what I understand, and the highest you can go, which is perfectly fine considering the environment that I'm in. We don't want it so high that it's going to hit branches. But as of right now, that's the default setting that I have for this video, is whatever it has for default as high and for far away. First thing I got to get out of the way is the fact that out the box, the video quality isn't so great. The Neo has to be flown in pretty much bright light because anything that starts getting dark kind of screws it up, doesn't really work too well. But the camera itself kind of blows everything out, especially when you get closer to a subject like myself who has lighter skin. It tends to like blow it out to the point where I look like a ghost. So I fixed that problem by putting on an ND filter, a polarized ND filter. Not sure if it actually makes a difference, but I did put an ND filter. I believe the value for that filter is 8 for this shot here, and it makes it look so much better. The colors look, they don't look so blown out. You actually can see the colors. And aside from that, the drone itself is actually doing very well. So when walking at this speed, the drone has no problems. I made a video before this, which unfortunately I did not have the ND filter for. So the quality just was not where I wanted it to be. So I didn't really care to bother with that video. So I redid it this way. But with the previous video, I actually ran, or I should say jogged. I jogged up and down here to kind of see how well this drone keeps up. And at that speed, it kept up perfectly fine. A little bit later in the video, I'm going to jump on an ATV, and it's going to struggle a little bit when I go a little bit faster, but it kind of keeps up. But then it does lose track at some point. But overall, you can see it's doing a great job uh, helping me showcase this this campground, which currently is still pretty much overgrown. I'm working on the paths here, but I'm eventually going to end up clearing out this whole place so that it's more usable. So as we come up to the end of this little path here, it kind of widens out, and I'm going to try and make a circle and see how it follows me. It's a little bit of a tight spot here, but I'm actually really impressed with the way it does follow me. Um, Notice as I'm turning around, it doesn't actually move any more forward, so it's not like trying to go above my head. It just keeps me in frame, and then it does what it needs to do to stay behind me. Now, this video, I did not try to take audio using the drone, even though I technically could have. The problem is I have to have the drone synced to my phone, so it has to be connected to my phone. So I'm either holding the phone in front of me so that I don't accidentally close the app, or just very carefully tuck it away in my pocket and hope that it doesn't, the screen doesn't close. But the actual microphone is, I wouldn't say it's usable. I wouldn't say it's perfect. It could be used for certain things. But for this video, I chose not to bother with it. I was just testing out the follow capabilities while I kind of walk my little path here, clear up some some branches that have fallen, which is a little bit of a problem. But any sound that you're hearing of the outdoors that I've actually put in after the fact. This is not the actual audio from the drone or from the camera. Now, I do want to mention the battery life. So I think it's advertised as like 20 plus minutes, which I have yet to get that. Usually, depending on how I'm recording, if you're recording with sound, I've seen that it actually cuts the battery life almost in half. It seems. The most I've got out of this, I would say, is actually from this run right here, where all I did was throw it up in the air and have it follow me at a slow pace. And I think I could get about maybe 15 minutes, 16 minutes before it just, says it has to land. It's not bad, but I would say if you're going to use something like this for, longer videos, you want to pick up some extra batteries because, like I said, the battery doesn't really last too long. I also want to mention the fact that I kind of bought this so that I can do some videos near or even on water. And then afterwards, I found out that you cannot fly this over the water because it could uh, kind of get screwed up and just basically land in the water. So they highly recommend that you do not fly this over water, which kind of screws things up because I did want to do some kind of aquatic thing here with like a boat or a canoe. But I'm going to have to figure another way to do that. Now, this little part of the video where I'm walking is about to end. And right after I stopped recording, I had to switch out batteries because the battery was almost completely dead. So I had to put a fresh battery in before I could do the next run with the ATV. Now, it does say that when you stop recording or you want to stop recording and you want it to return to you, you're supposed to point your hand at it. And you notice it does kind of look at my hand, but it doesn't always recognize it right away. It kind of looks silly because I'm basically like begging it to come to my hand. So for this part, I'm going to be using the ATV, pretty much doing the same path that I walked, but obviously I'm gonna go a little bit faster. Not too much faster because I already know that this drone is not meant for that. But I would say this would be more like a running pace if I was actually running, and it follows pretty decent. It's not doing too bad, but there are spots where it does weird things like right here. Why did it stop? There's nothing obstructing it, and yet it kind of like had to stop and then see where I'm at before it caught up to me. And yet over here where there's more kind of like shade and branches and things, it's doing perfectly fine. There's nowhere any there's no real issue here. But up ahead, when I make this turn, which isn't even a sharp turn because I'm being mindful of that, it just loses me. And I don't understand why I did that. As you can see right there, it stops and then boom, it lost me. And of course, because of the sound of the ATV, I can't hear that it's no longer behind me. So I'm going to keep riding. And then at some point, I'm going to turn, look over my shoulder, and realize it's not there. And then I'm going to come back and it's just hovering there, which is nice. I would be, if it had just landed, I probably would not find it. So here I am coming back, a little bit frustrated. It finds me again. And then as you see, it tries to catch up. I'm not happy about about that. Um, but it's again, it's for what it is. I shouldn't really be too upset with it, and I am just trying to put it through its paces. It did not hit any branches. It's not actively trying to avoid the branches. It's just as long as you can kind of keep your path where there's no branches, it shouldn't hit any branches. Yeah, I'm pissed off again because it did lose me again. If you get out of its field of view too quickly, it just kind of it just stands there like a lost child and kind of is looking for you, kind of waiting for you to come and get it. So you do need to be mindful of that. I did go a little bit faster and it did keep up. So it's not it's not something that's going to be terrible with the speed. But again, don't expect to jump on like a motocross bike and expect it to follow you. I don't think it's going to be able to do that. But something like this, where you're just cruising along on a bike or on a ATV, or maybe you're just jogging or on a bicycle, not really going super fast, it should be fine. And again, it does really well with these turns. It's only like the sharp 90-degree turns that it can kind of lose you. If you are staying within its line of sight, it's generally going to keep following you. Now for this last little stretch here, it's the path is pretty straight. So I do pick up the pace a little bit just to kind of see how well it follows behind me. Notice it's a little bit further back. It's not as close as it was before, but it is following me. It does keep up, but it does have these weird moments where, for like a split second, like now, it doesn't quite know where I'm at, and then it has to like find me again. But it's doing okay. When I slow down, though, notice that because it's going fast to keep up with me, it doesn't automatically slow down. It actually um, kind of creeps up on me. And you're going to see here that if you do a sudden stop at that speed, it's actually going to overtake you. So you're going to see that right now. And you can see it kind of like looks back and forth, like, where are you? Where are you? Which I think is adorable. But you do need to be careful if you have this at a lower elevation because it might just run into the back of your head. So now it's looking for me, but notice it sees my hand and it automatically like goes down. Like I don't know if it recognized my hand or if it's just saw movement. That's the end of the video. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And with any luck, I'll see you in the next video. And until then, take care.